Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game, Starbuck versus HawK. This game taking place here on Tide Hunters. HawK spawning as the yellow human on the bottom right hand side of the map, and meanwhile on the top left we have Starbuck spawning as the blue orc. My apologies if I miss anything on the screen. I'm probably sure you can tell I am horribly backlit by my front window, and I am seeing some very, very nasty reflections. So let's go ahead and break things down in this human versus orc matchup. One thing I do want to mention out there, there is a lot of opinions on the internet, and well, you gotta be safe. What do I mean by that? As well, the internet and websites are designed to help you find content that you like, and generally content that you like is content that reinforces content that you like is things that you are interested in, but also opinions that reinforce your own. And with that, if you don't understand that that's how the internet works, because the internet is just there to drive ads to you, give you content that you want to see so that you stay on the internet more, you may accidentally end up in an echo chamber where you think your opinion is the only valid one out there. I'm seeing it a lot, especially with BlizzCon 2023 getting underway very soon. A lot of people have been quoting, saying, you know, Blizzard's lost their way. Just look at all of these opinions, and well, that's true. You're going to, if you have the opinion that Blizzard has completely lost their way, then, well, you're going to find those opinions very, very easily. At the same time, I'm not going to argue that Blizzard hasn't lost their way. It really does feel like Blizzard is not the same company that it was 10, 12 years, or 12, 15 years ago. With that being said, though, companies have to constantly evolve and adapt to stay competitive for all of the people involved in the company. There are employees whose livelihoods are very much based on that company sticking around. There are people who have invested a large amount of time, money, energy, effort into supporting that company, not only through buying their games, but also as shareholders, things like that. And well, if you buy stock in a company, you and you just say, you know what, I want to believe in the company, but well, at some point you want to sell that stock and make a profit on it, since you are pretty much denying yourself of using that money to, you know, feed your own interests. So that is how the world works. Whether or not it is right or wrong, that is another question for another time, as we're looking at the Mountain King now going to go ahead and clear out the Sea Giant Turtle Creep Camp. We saw a very fast a very fast level 2 Mountain King. Mountain King able to pick off that Farseer at level 1, that Stormbolt, very, very nasty, and now that Mountain King has picked up Rings of Protection +4, increasing overall armor to 7. Meanwhile, Farseer is still of Starbuck is still playing this denying game, which can be very, very dangerous. The Mountain King is already sitting at level 2 and very close to level 3. A level 3 Mountain King would mean level 2 Stormbolt, and level 2 Stormbolt would most certainly mean another dead Farseer if he is not careful. Mountain King kind of go ahead and get a Stormbolt off onto that Farseer. They're going to get a little bit of damage, but waiting for that Murloc to get taken down. Now that it's a level 3 Mountain King, the Farseer really has to consider his options as things are backing away. Mountain King still off over here. Are we going to see a Stormbolt go down? Yes, there's another Stormbolt on the Farseer, and the Farseer is the only one that's been taking Stormbolts pretty much throughout this matchup. Peasants now trying to make their way back. A lucky bash onto a headhunter ensures the kill there, as the Grunt now going after a couple of peasants down to the south. Mountain King still has decent amount of mana, has a Circlet of Nobility, has a Stormbolt with the Farseer's name on it, but will not be able to get there in time as the Farseer now backs away. Mountain King does not have Boots of Speed, doesn't have enough mana for another Stormbolt there, and is he going to go shopping? That is the question. Being able to close in on that gap by boots of speed. He's sold the rune bracers, has a second circlet of nobility, so that does make him a little bit more dangerous as the Farseer trying to clean up some of these footmen. Militia now trying to make its way back around. Are we going to look at another Stormbolt coming around here? Farseer knows what's up. Mountain King trying to close in onto that gap as the Farseer are going to try and turn the corner there. There's another Stormbolt down to 120 hit points. What is going on? It's level 2 Bash. Oh my goodness, it's level 2 Bash over level 2 Stormbolt. I think HawK made a tragic mistake there. I was wondering why the Stormbolt wasn't dealing nearly as much damage. There is another hit right there, but that is not a Bash. Level 1 Stormbolt instead of level 2. A mistrain. I gotta believe that that is mistrained right there. That Farseer would be dead with that a little bit of additional damage. And HawK kind of stepped in it in not getting that level 2 Stormbolt, instead going for Bash. All right. A little bit of an odd play here. One Arcane Tower. HawK is going to be in some serious trouble. You see a Fire Lord of Starbuck putting in pressure, and these are all just now summoned units. That Lava Spawn will most likely want to try and take down some other units. There's the Mountain King. Mountain King is on trying to bash down some more units. There goes a Stormbolt onto the Fire Lord. Is the Fire Lord going to get taken down? One or two more shots should finish it off. Mountain King, however, low on mana as the Fire Lord trying to double back around. Mountain King wants to get another lucky bash. Is he going to be able to get the shot off there? No. Unable to catch the Fire Lord, even though he doesn't have boots of speed. Lava Spawns are now going to start splitting, and this is going to become a problem as that is very, very high piercing damage as the Mountain King is still trying to defend this location here. Mountain King is going to be able to finish things off as another Lava Spawn split, ready to go from 2 Lava Spawns up to 4 as we are picking things off again. Mountain King down to 44 mana, trying to finish off that Farseer. Meanwhile, we don't see an Arcane Vault as of yet. No, now being placed down to try and perhaps get a bit of mana here. I still have to believe the Mountain King going for level 2 Bash over level 2 Stormbolt was a bit of a misstep. Lava Spawns here trying to clear out these creep camps now as the Mountain King is nearby. Is he going to be able to get a bash on that Fire Lord? That is the question. Up to 75 mana. There is the Stormbolt. Farseer trying to get in the way. There is a Spirit Link, and there is still enough of a kill there. Fire Lord falls at level 1. Spirit Link not enough to shift some of that damage as the Farseer picks up a Wand of Illusion. Mountain King still needs to bash or well, try to dodge all of this damage here. Lava Spawns have been doing some nice splitting overall as Starbuck able to hold on to these Lava Spawns, but temporarily every time Lava Spawns split, their timed life actually shrinks. So I think the maximum times a Lava Spawn can split under normal attack speed is twice. I don't know what a bloodlusted endurance or a faster attack speed could translate into. I'm sure it is higher. Maybe one more split here as we now see Wind Riders. Wind Riders capitalizing on a Mountain King first. No easy way to go after that Wind Rider in the air as we are going into Blacksmith and training up Rifleman. Human does not have the expo that is normally set up at this point and stage in the game, as he has tech to tier 2, perhaps going to try and build up some guard towers as well. Mountain King finally gets up to level 4, finally goes for level 2 Stormbolt, as well, this game would have been completely different if we saw level 2 Stormbolt first. All right, that's in the past. That happened 5 minutes ago. What is going to be happening now in the future? We're looking at a Fire Lord picking up a Wand of Mana Stealing. That could be incredibly important at denying Stormbolts from that Mountain King while increasing the number of Lava Spawns. If we see dual level 3 heroes come with the Fire Lord here, Fire Lord and Farseer, the skill advantage, level 2 Wolves and level 2 Lava Spawns may simply be too much. We are looking at an army size advantage as well. Starbuck sitting on 32 army compared to HawK's 24, as HawK does have significantly more workers out here on the battlefield collecting lumber right now instead of trying to set up an expo. Farseer Illusion hiding off onto the side here. There's a Stormbolt finding the Farseer. Level 2 Stormbolt dealing a lot more damage. That Farseer could get taken down to 38 hit points. One more bash or one more Stormbolt is going to be all that is needed. Trying to get the shot off, and there's the Scroll of Town Portal to dodge. Fire Lord is out here, perhaps going to use that Wand of Mana Stealing to try and deny a bit of mana. Should actually be doing that, as you don't want to see that Mountain King throwing out those Storm Bolts. Using the Wand of Mana Stealing right there would have been enough to stop that Grunt from getting that Storm Bolt there and giving a little bit more mana to that Fire Lord and saving that Grunt. Little bit of micro missteps, or not using all of your items and everything to its maximum potential, forcing another Grunt to be lost. Farseer summoning out some additional wolves. Lava Spawns perhaps going to try and get in some additional splits and attacks as the Sea Turtle now taken down. Meanwhile, down to the south side here, Archmage at level 1 has gone for Water Elementals. Militia now clearing out this gargantuan Sea Turtle creep camp, as the Mountain King, well, actually just taking some experience without really doing much here. He shouldn't be in the fight. Archmage wants to get to level 2 and would have gotten to level 2 by itself, since the Mountain King isn't really doing anything at all. Alright, in comes the battle though. I guess fighting next to each other does have its advantages, as we are looking at a bunch of low hit point footmen and peasants. This could actually get cleaned up very poorly. Potion of Greater Healing used by the Mountain King in order to stay alive. Mountain King now being forced to try and double back away. 25 supply versus 23 supply army sizes. They are very similar, as the Farseer could easily get in some kills here. Perhaps try and take down some of these units. There goes the Spirit Walker. It gets finished off as we see a Scroll of Speed ensnare onto the Mountain King. Mountain King gonna be in trouble. Chain Lightning bouncing around. Probably wishes he had Rune Bracers right now, as we're looking at the Mountain King off to the races. Ensnare on the Raider, perhaps still on cooldown. Needs to get that ensnare off as the Mountain King turns the corner. Perhaps gonna buy a Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away. Archmage, on the other hand, continuing to creep, wondering what happened to the Mountain King. Well, Mountain King safely got back home. Arcane Sanctum now trained up a priest, and that Mountain King needs to do quite a bit of healing. Clarity Potion, Potion of Healing also used as well. Perhaps a Scroll of Regeneration would be useful, as there is some low hit point footmen in this mix too. Archmage drops a Water Elemental here. That footman has to be careful. Nope. Null Assassin with an arrow into the face of that footman quickly takes him down. A little bit of a misstep there, as HawK, sitting on dual level 3 heroes, does have a second Wand of Mana Stealing. We'll see if that sudden stealing of 120 mana is enough to perhaps offset that Mountain King. Mountain King also with Claws of Attack +8. Most likely that should be given to the Archmage. Archmage using those ranged auto attacks, able to get in some significant damage. 51 supply compared to 42. HawK does not have an Expo. Meanwhile, Starbuck is operating on one. Both sides, wow, great job by HawK, quickly catching up and taking the lead in the hero experience to a level 4 and a level 3 hero. That Mountain King nearly at level 5 with, well, I would assume level 3 Stormbolt coming just around the corner. If I see level 3 Bash, well, yeah, I think it would be the first time I saw level 3 Bash over level 3 Stormbolt or level 3 Thunderclap ever. Coming back here, we're looking at the Tauren's Totem, now training up actual Tauren as we are at Fortress. Dual Tauren Totem here, and do we have Mastery training on these Adepts? No, we are on the Spirit Walkers. We do not yet. Training up the Tauren first, and then we're gonna go ahead and train them up into get that well, Resurrection ability. All right, Firelord picks up a Circlet of Nobility there. Both sides gonna try and engage. Odd thing about the Fire Lord, remember, even though he is a summoner type unit, his base stat is agility, so that Boots of Quel'Tha Lost giving him some additional damage, currently up to +12. Alright, gonna try and fight, get his way through peons. Mountain King with Thunderclap gonna go ahead and get a Stormbolt off on the Spirit Walker. Spirit Walker taking quite a little bit of damage. Spirit Link trying to back away, as the Tauren with Pulverize could really pulverize this front line of Riflemen. Remember, Tauren Pulverize does AoE normal damage against all of these Riflemen here. I don't believe HawK was expecting that, and you can see every time you see one of those little pounds go down, all of those units taking so much damage. Raiders now need to come across, get in some ensnares, as Chain Lightning bouncing around trying to finish off more units. Firelord still pushing. Mountain King gets up to level 5, level 3 Stormbolt. No! Level 3 Bash! This was on purpose. Level 3 Bash by HawK over level 3 Stormbolt. I am absolutely dumbfounded, surprised, and curious as to whether or not that Mountain King is going to regret that decision later on. All right. Well, there's that Wand of Mana Stealing, so I guess right now Bash is looking better than Stormbolt since he doesn't have the mana for it, as we see a little bit more engagement going across here. Who used the Wand of Mana Stealing? Both charges were used, so that's why the Mountain King currently low on mana. Could be able to get off a Stormbolt, goes after the Spirit Walker in the back now, as there's a Potion of Invulnerability on the Fire Lord. 61 supply compared to 41. Torrent still pulverizing, as we're looking at the Fire Lord, currently invisible, goes after the Archmage, shuts him down, and now gets level 4 on the, or level 5 on the Farseer, level 4 nearly level 5 on that Fire Lord. Chain Lightning still bouncing around here. There goes a Priest, and that is gonna be the game. Starbuck able to outlast and actually defeat HawK pretty easily in that early fight, stopping even though Starbuck lost that Farseer early on to that early Stormbolt. Some curious moves by HawK, getting Bash, level 2 Bash over level 2 Stormbolt as the second ability, or as the third ability, and then, well, even more so as the level 5 ability. Let me know what you guys think about this game in the comments below. Was Bash over Stormbolt the right call? And if so, or would Stormbolt have, well, given a better opportunity for HawK to take a bigger lead? Thanks.